Let's get into it. This is really cool. This is the main riff. And this is a variation. Actually, let me stop right there. Instead of starting with the main riff, because that has so much going on with both of the hands, I think it's better to start with these variations that he does. He's gonna do 5 variations. Let's watch them in a row. I'll label them on the screen and then we'll go over them right after that, one by one. Here's the main riff. Here's variation 1. Variation 2. It's back to variation 1. Here's variation 3. Transition to variation 4. It's basically the same as variation 3, just in a different position. Variation 1 again. And finally, here's variation 5. Then he gets back into the main riff. Let me stop us there. Variation 1 is the one he actually comes back to the most. Let's start there. This variation is really basic. It's the easiest one that we're gonna do. Let's get you started doing this with the chords, okay? Thumb on the right hand is going 1, 2, 3, 4, 1, 2, 3, 4. So now we're adding some syncopation with the index fingers in between the thumb. Making the thumb short also, making the bass notes short also with the palm mute. After the syncopation, on the and of 1, every time we're gonna hit a big chord, either A7 or what we call a long A. So altogether it's gonna be like this. That's the first variation. The second variation is very similar to that. Same idea, index finger, we're always kind of doing this rhythm, okay? Now this time we're popping in long A, A7, you've got to keep these chords short with the left hand by using that pulsing technique that we talk about all the time. Okay, exaggerated, it looks kind of like this. Now I'm coming all the way off the strings. Don't do that. We're just releasing tension, making those notes nice and short. Now without that, it sounds like this. And then with the pulse technique, it's going to sound like this. It's just so much more bouncy, it's lighter, it's more fun to play it that way too, I promise. Let's go to variation 3. This is where he's sliding into this A7. Like this. Now what he's doing is adding the thumb with, and then the end of the riff is just kind of like variation 1. And then he's going to go into variation 4, which is basically the same riff, but over a D chord in the 5th position. Before he does that, he does this. Plays A7, then it's just a D, and then he goes into this riff. We're going D to the A string with the thumb. Left hand is going between D7 and D6. After that, he's going to go back into variation 1. The only difference is he's going to slide into that. Finally, variation 5 is the octave riff. Now, for whatever reason, he's using his pinky and second finger to play that octave. You don't have to do that. You can use your first and pinky or first and third finger. It's going to be more comfortable for most people. But he's playing it, you know, as a pinch method, not like the Wes Montgomery muting method. He's just pinching both notes. So he's going ba-da-da-da-da. Sometimes he does a little hammer on, like that. Those are all the variations. That's the best place for you to start. Let's listen back to him playing it now and the main theme, and then the other kind of almost solo bit where he puts more stuff into it. Let's check it out. Cues the band with his head, yelling, hey. This is the main riff. And this is the other part where he's kind of putting those two things together. We'll go over that later. Let's come back. Okay, back to the main riff. The main riff has several things going on at once. That's why it's not the best place to start. But this is what it's going to sound like when we're all finished on the acoustic. Let's piece that together. The thumb, it's alternating between A and the D string. I think the most important part is the syncopation with that index finger. On the note A on the G string, so on the second fret, we're holding this barred A chord over here with our left hand. The top part is going like this. That note is going to be played with the thumb. Because remember, we're alternating the thumb here, but we hear that as kind of a top line. We're not keeping those notes long. They're short. Here's the whole riff, super slow. The original studio recording, he's playing at about 195. And then in this recording, he's playing it at 235 BPM, which is significantly faster. Now, that other part I was talking about where he's kind of adding in some of those variations with the riff, he only does that for a moment. Let's back that up and watch it, and I'll teach you that part too. It's the main riff. And now I'll show you when he goes into the variation. That's it. This is the variation. So he's adding this to the top of it. First time, then he goes like this. And he's adding that with the... So let me show you how to do that. So he goes like this. So see how he's adding this kind of shape, that little D shape like this, and then borrowing the pinky to play those. Woo! This is the tricky part. Putting those together, that's definitely the trickiest part of the whole thing because it's the main riff and adding some of those variations at the same time. Let's watch him play the rest of it and see if there's any more variations. Main riff, super fast. Okay, this is kind of a variation. This is just the same thing he's playing, but he's using a lot more palm muting here, okay? Let's talk about his hand position. He keeps his hand up here, and this is an unusual position. I don't really recommend for you guys to copy that because it's unusual. There are players that play like this, especially early blues players and some hill country blues players, but still, it's not very versatile. It's hard to have your hand in this position where the fingers are in front of the thumb for other genres. So it's not something that I think that you should spend time learning, getting your hand in that position. However, if you really want to get it sounding as authentic as possible, then yeah, maybe put your hand up here and try to do it like him. But there's so many other details that are going to give you a closer representation of the sound, like the guitar type, whatever microphone, the space that the stuff is being recorded, string gauge, pickups, so many different things. The hand position is going to be a very subtle thing, and that's for that reason I don't recommend it. I think it's going to be better for you guys to learn how to play in a normal playing position so you can play other songs and other styles easily without having to relearn everything every time there's a new song. So that's the end of the song. That's the last variation that he's going to play. So hopefully you got something out of this. Thanks so much for watching. I'll see you guys on the next one. If you want some more stuff, check this video out, and I'll see y'all there.